Hello, everybody. It's me, Anthony, and that's the time of the week again. It's Anthony's NFL Picks. Week 5. Wow. I cannot believe we're already in the 5th week, and it is finally October. It's actually October 3rd to be exact for all you people out there. But before we start, I also got 2 things to say. First thing, if you're watching this video, please like and subscribe this video and make sure to turn on the notification bells to get updated on my newest content. And I'm currently 41-21 with my NFL record so far. And the last thing we got to do is, before we start, there are a couple of teams that are not going to be playing this week. We actually start bye weeks this week, so let's get started with the bye weeks. So this week, the teams that will not be playing, there are actually 4 teams that won't be playing. They are the 2-2 Chargers, the 3-1 Seahawks, the 3-1 Buccaneers, and the 2-2 Browns. All right, enough with that nonsense. Let's get on with our games. Coming off with Thursday Night Football, we got the 0-4 Bears and my 2-2 Commanders, who sadly lost against the Eagles in that crazy overtime game. But I wasn't upset when the Commanders actually lost to Philadelphia. They did a lot better as I expected. I thought the Eagles were going to blow them out like 40-0. Commanders put up a good fight against Philadelphia, but turns out the Eagles were the best team that day. But hey, we ended our undefeated season last season, so. But anyways, we're going to be home against the Bears, who are 0-4, who completely blew the game against Denver last week. The Bears are really bad, and I'm really hoping that the Commanders could hold on and beat Chicago. I think the Commanders will beat the Bears. Commanders will beat the Bears 16-13. Commanders will be 3-2. Bears will be 0-5. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got a London game again. We got the 2-2 Jaguars and the 3-1 Bills. Jaguars are here after beating Atlanta 23-7 in Wembley Stadium. They look pretty good with Trevor Lawrence. They finally came back. They were mad about the previous week after losing to the Texans at their home stadium. They're going to London again against the Bills, who completely wrecked the undefeated 3-0 Dolphins, now 3-1. Everybody now in the AFC has a loss, but Buffalo, I think, is going to be doing good again this time. It's going to be a close game, though. The Bills will beat the Jaguars 24-21. Bills will be 4-1. Jaguars will be 2-3. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 2-2 Saints and the 1-3 Patriots. Saints are here after getting crushed by the Buccaneers 26-9. Baker Mayfield looks like, he's doing a really good job right now, and I'm excited to see how they're going to be. Patriots, they're here after getting knocked out by the Cowboys 38-3. Man. And also, Christian Gonzalez, the Patriots rookie, is out. He got hurt in that game, so that's a very big disadvantage. They're going to be in Gillette Stadium, though, but to be honest, I'm really thinking that the Saints can win this game. Saints will beat the Patriots 20-6. Saints will finally be over 500 and end their 2 losing streak. Saints will be 3-2. The Patriots will be 1-4. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got an AFC South matchup between the 2-2 Titans and the 2-2 Colts. Titans are here after beating the Bengals 27-3. Man, Derrick Henry did really good that game, and they're doing really good, Tennessee. They're doing all right with DeAndre Hopkins and Ryan Tannehill and other players there. However, the Colts, they lost that crazy overtime game against the Rams 29-23. They're trying to, keep up their winning. And also, good news, Colt fans, if you're ever a Colt fan out here. Colts are going to get Jonathan Taylor back after being hurt. So we're going to see how Jonathan Taylor does. He's finally back. And also, I forgot to mention for the Bills, Von Miller's back. But anyway, I'm thinking that the Titans will beat the Colts 27-20. Titans will be 3-2. Colts will be 2-3. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got an AFC North matchup between the 3-1 Ravens and the 2-2 Steelers. Ravens are here after winning and beating thinking who the Ravens beat. The Ravens, I don't know who they beat though, but they won. They won really good against. They beat the Browns, my bad. Ravens beat the Browns 27-3 last time, and mainly because the Browns didn't have Deshaun Watson, they didn't have Nick Chubb. David Njoku was recovering from, his burn incident. They're going on to Pittsburgh. They're at home this time against the Steelers, who are in big trouble now because Kenny Pickett hurt himself. The Steelers fun fact, lost to the Texans last week, mainly because Kenny Pickett got hurt and Mitch Trubisky was starting. But if Kenny Pickett's out, then I think the Ravens are going to beat the Steelers. Ravens will beat the Steelers 31-10. Ravens will be 4-1. Steelers will be 2-3. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 0-4 Panthers and the 3-1 Lions. Panthers are here after losing that game against the Vikings for the Tank Bowl, to be honest. Man, the Panthers, they're really struggling with Bryce Young. Bryce Young has not won an NFL game yet in the regular season. He won in the preseason, not postseason, preseason. They're trying to look for their first win, but they're going to Detroit in Ford Field against the Lions, who completely beat Green Bay. They destroyed them in Lambeau Field. And to be honest, I'm going to have to go with the Lions. Lions will beat the Panthers 23-7. Lions will be 4-1. Panthers will be 0-5. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 2-2 Texans and the 2-2 Falcons. Battle of the 2-2s. Falcons, they're here after losing to Jacksonville in the London game. Falcons were starting off 2-0. They're blowing games now. They're taking on tough teams. They took on the Lions and they took on the Jaguars. They're going to be having an easy opponent, kind of not, because the Texans are here after upsetting the Steelers 30-6, mainly because Kenny Pickett got hurt and Mitch Trubisky was starting. But to be honest, I might have to go with the Falcons. The Falcons are home. They think they could, walk all over the Texans. But it's going to be a close game. Falcons will beat the Texans 20-10. Falcons will finally be 3-2 and end their 2 losing streak. Texans will be 2-3. But I think the Texans are making a lot of improvement with C.J. Stroud. But anyways, we move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 1-3 Giants and the 3-1 Dolphins. The Giants are here after getting blown out by Seattle yesterday, 24-3. First quarter, there were so many flags. I was watching the game with my dad, and my dad was pretty upset about it. When I went to sleep, it was like 7-3 Seattle, so man, the Giants, they have no Saquon. He's probably out still, and now they're going to Miami against the Dolphins, who are kind of upset after that loss against Buffalo. So that's a big disadvantage for the Giants. Dolphins have a lot more weapons around them, and Tua is doing really good. He's not concussionized yet, knock on wood for Miami fans. I'm thinking that the Dolphins will beat the Giants. Dolphins will beat the Giants 30-14. Dolphins will be 4-1. Giants 1-4. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 1-3 Bengals and the 1-3 Cardinals. The battle of the 1-3s. Bengals, they're having a very, very tough start this season, being 1-3 and getting blown out by Tennessee, set 27-3. It's not looking good for the fans in Cincy. Joe Burrow's really having a tough time, and T. Higgins could be possibly questionable to be returning this game. They're taking on the 1-3 Cardinals, who lost to San Francisco, but they're back at home against the Bengals in their home stadium, so we're going to see how it's going to be. But to be honest, I think it's going to be a close game, though. I think the Bengals will top off the Arizona. Be a close game, but like 3. Bengals will beat the Cardinals 20-17. Bengals will be 2-3. Cardinals will be 1-4. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the undefeated 4-0 Eagles and the 2-2 Rams. Rams, I got good news for the Ram fans out there. Cooper Kupp is back after suffering a hamstring injury in Week 1. He's finally returning, and they're mediocre without him. They went 2-2 without Cooper Kupp. But if Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford stay healthy, I think they could fight for a playoff spot. I'm thinking the Eagles are going to win, though, even though it's in LA. The Eagles have so much weapons around them. They are a very good team. They could top anybody off, and that's why I have to go with Philadelphia. Eagles will beat the Rams 30-24. The Eagles will be 5-0. Rams will be 2-3. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 1-3 Jets and the 1-3 Broncos. Again, another 1-3 battle. Jets are here after losing that close game against the Chiefs. And fun fact, at the Chiefs game, Taylor Swift was actually at the game. It's confirmed Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are officially dating for like a week or so. I forgot to mention it, but just to let you know. And the Broncos, they're here after making a big comeback against the Bears last week. And to be honest, I'm thinking they're in Denver this time, and I'm thinking the Jets can win this round because the Jets look pretty promising with Allen Lazard and Randall Cobb, despite losing Aaron Rodgers from that Achilles injury this September, early September last month. I think they could do something good. Jets will beat the Broncos 27-17. Jets will be 2-3. The Broncos will be 1-4. Sean Payton is having a hard time. It's not looking good for Mr. Payton, but we get to move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 3-1 Chiefs and the 1-3 Vikings. Chiefs are here after winning that ugly win against the Jets, 23-20. They almost lost to that team. They were winning 17-0, and they almost blew that game into proportion. But good news, they're still 3-1, and they're going on to be in U.S. Bank Stadium against the Minnesota Vikings, who beat the Panthers, surprisingly. They won, I think, 31-24 final, I think. But to be honest, Minnesota's going to have a hard time, and I'm thinking that, the Chiefs will top off them. Chiefs will beat the Vikings 28-22. Kansas City will be 4-1. The Vikings 1-4. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game for Sunday Night Football, we got a pretty good game. We got the 3-1 Cowboys and the 4-0 Niners. Cowboys are here after annihilating the Patriots, and I also posted something on my shorts. Check it out after this video. CeeDee Lamb threw a crazy touchdown, a 20-yard touchdown from Dak Prescott. The Cowboys just steamrolled over them, and now they're going to Levi Stadium in San Francisco, California against the 4-0 Niners with Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey was really, really good on Sunday. They played very good. McCaffrey has been on fire lately, and, I think he's going to continue to do it on Sunday Night Football. 49ers will beat the Cowboys 34-31. 49ers will be 5-0, continuing to be undefeated. Cowboys will be 3-2. We move on with our next game. And last but not least for this week, we got the 2-2 Packers and the 1-3 Raiders. Packers with Jordan Love. They're here after getting annihilated at their home stadium. They're going to Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada against the Raiders, who also lost against the Chargers. Jimmy Garoppolo is still out, possibly. We don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be returning to this game, so we're going to see how it's going to be. But to be honest, I'm thinking the Packers are going to win this game with Jordan Love. But David Bakhtiari is out for the whole season, possibly. He's always getting hurt, though. That's the issue. But to be honest, I'm thinking that the Packers will hold on and win this game. Packers will beat the Raiders 20-10. Packers will be 3-2. Raiders will be 1-4. And that is it for this week, everybody. Tune in for Anthony's NFL Picks Week 6, which will be premiering again on Tuesday, October 10th at around this time or so. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great week.